You're listening to the Andy Snowden Stage and Screen Radio Show, broadcasting around the world and in Rosa Medre.
So, here we go then. Week 8, girls and boys. Week 8 of the, it's Strictly Come Dancing. I'll be honest with you, it's a show that sort of passed me by over the last few years. I just couldn't be bothered. I couldn't be bothered getting into it. And I watched it the other week, the Halloween special. And I got to tell you, Andy's a fan. He's a fan. Loving it, I am. You a big fan of Strictly Come Dancing?
I love Strictly Come Dancing.
You've actually been to see the live thing, haven't you? One of the arenas.
Yeah, I went last year to Liverpool, and such a great show they put on.
Yeah.
It's just like watching the thing on the telly, but they're in front of you.
So did they have all the judges and everything there?
They had all the judges, even the... Craig was there, giving his fours. What less we say about that?
Talking of which, who went last week, the lad?
Austin, he went...
Ashton, innit?
Ashton, sorry.
Yeah.
He went, and again, Craig gave him a 4, and there's been a big hoo-ha about that.
There has, hasn't there? People getting really excited about things like that, though.
Yeah.
What's the main consensus?
I think the main consensus is... they want Debbie to win, and there's going to be...
the judges want Debbie to win,
yeah,
right. Okay.
I can see where they're coming from, because you don't get Craig bowing on his hands and knees, which is totally rubbish.
I know.
To Debbie and give him a 10.
Above all, I thought that was just a bit embarrassing.
Yeah, for him and everybody sitting at home watching it.
I didn't know what he was doing. Because I understand Debbie McGee's a very good dancer and she's an older lady and all the rest of it, but I just didn't think her dance was a 40. Listen to us now. I didn't think she deserved 40.
She wasn't a 40 at all, was she? I'd have given her 38.
Unbelievable. And of course Ashton, one of the favourites to win the damn thing, and he gets kicked out over the likes of Ruth and who else? Who's this girl? Susan somebody or other.
She's doing really, really well, actually. She's dancing with Kevin Clifton.
Yeah. And
the things that make me laugh is when you get Craig saying, you need to keep your posture. But she's trying to grab up to his arms. She's that small.
Yeah, she's a midget, isn't she? Yeah. Anyway, the reason why we're talking about Strictly Come Dancing, not because it's, it is a great show and all that, but on Friday night this week, Friday the 15th of November, there is a special Strictly Come Dancing for children in need. It's Children in Need night on Friday, unless you've forgotten. And 6 of children's show hosts, Blue Peter, from past and present, will compete in a special Strictly Come Dancing event. Some of the contestants are going to be Connie Hook, Anthea Turner and Mark Curry, and indeed Wrexham's very own Mr. Tim Vincent. And I caught up with Tim on Friday afternoon to talk all things Strictly Come Dancing. Now, I've known Tim a while, and I've never known him do any dancing, so that was one of the first things we talked about. Here he is, Mr. Tim Vincent. With the exception of the lager, you're one of Wrexham's better exports. do you get back to Wrexham much?
I do, yeah. I've still got family and friends there. It's kind of sporadic. I might be back twice in 2 weeks, then not for a month, depending on work and whatever else is happening. But yeah, I'd definitely like to get back up as much as I can.
Right, so you're living in America now, yeah?
No, I live in London. I work for an American company for the last 12 years, and I did live in America for 3 years in New York.
Right.
And in fact, I'm going back again next week for a couple of weeks filming. But no, very much based in London, just fleetingly back over to the States whenever I need to.
Okay. And so, I tell people all the time, we know each other from the Clwyd Youth Theatre.
Yes, I think I was a sheep and you were, what were you? A cow?
A pig.
Is that PC to say? A pig. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that was my very, very first time I'd ever trod the boards.
Yeah. And you only it was Animal Farm, of course. We better explain that. And you left straight away to do children's ward, was it?
Yeah, I was incredibly lucky that, Ricky Tomlinson featured heavily in all of that. He opened a drama school in Summerhill at the time, just an evening classes, and he took a load of the guys, all the actors and actresses there, for an audition in Liverpool, just to show everybody what an audition was and how to prepare for an audition and blah, blah, blah. And luckily for me, they were looking for non-trained stage kids. Not that they didn't want people that could do the job, but they didn't want somebody who was like tap dancing and smiley. They wanted it a little bit more raw, because the show itself was written by Paul Abbott and Kay Mellor, who were northern playwrights.
Right.
And so I was very lucky that we went along, and then the next thing they asked me to go back and again, and then do something on tape, and ended up getting the part of Billy Ryan, which luckily lasted for 6 years, which was amazing.
I was going to say you were in it for ages.
I only left because I got Blue Peter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and at the time we were still obviously very friendly with the cast, and one of them wore a Blue Peter badge in one of the scenes, just as a knowing nod to the fact that Billy'd moved on. But really friendly people, and I still cross paths with occasionally with one or two of the actors, because it had quite a few people that went into Coronation Street.
Yeah. I mean, it was a very good stepping stone for a lot of young actors, I seem to remember.
Yeah, it was at the time, but you just sadly don't get that kind of thing happening anymore, really, because, when that was on, there wasn't even Channel 5, so, children's drama, really, even though it was with children, a lot of adults used to watch it.
Yeah. I mean, you must have been seriously ill to be in it for 6 years.
Well, that was always the dilemma, really. I did play a teenage alcoholic in the first one with a broken leg, but some would say typecasting. And they wanted to keep me in, and they also wanted to keep in an actress called Jenny Lookcraft, who was in this. It was also a patient, and they wrote it they wrote it that she became a nurse and I became an electrician, and then we had a kid together, so we went through all those dilemmas together. But Russell T Davies, who now is famous for bringing back Doctor Who and writing various things, jokingly always says that he used to just write scenes with me walking into a room just in my boxer shorts without a top on. So basically that's all I did for about 3 seasons.
Yeah, I do remember that. I seem to remember that a lot. So you left that to do Blue Peter. With Blue Peter, did you audition for that like an acting job?
Well, you prepare for anything as much as you can, but it's a very different discipline when you're going in there, because they want to see your personality come through as much as anything else. And the audition, if you get far enough, they actually, after the show is finished, a live show, they keep the studio open, and they bring in various people, me and various other people who are auditioning, and you actually present bits of the show. So you do a make item, then you do an item talking about whatever happens to be stamps or something that's coming out, just to see you in different environments. And at the end they have something that will make you not concentrate on your lines and just become yourself. And when I did it was, I don't know if you remember at the fun fairs, they have those bucking Broncos, where those mechanical balls.
Yeah.
And they had one of those in, so you climbed on top of that and had to do find your camera, one of the cameras, and and it's all auto cue and read it.
Yeah.
Of course, you're being thrown all over the place, so you can't really try and pretend to be a presenter. It's just you at that point.
Yeah.
Luckily enough, with my Wrexham training, I was able to hold on.
Yeah. So I mean, for people who for New Year friends and everything, family, I suppose as well. I mean, it was all very exciting for us to have a friend of ours being like, it's a British institution. It's not just a gig, is it?
Welcome to Blue Peter.
Oh, okay. There's only one thing now. That officially makes it the seal of approval.
You can actually put a badge on.
Yeah, we'll get the Blue Peter badge. What are you looking forward to in the programme?
I think what I'm looking forward to the most are the action films, as long as they don't actually break any legs or arms.
It is, and it is you're probably the right word. It is an institution. It's a brand, actually, Blue Peter. And sadly, over the last few years, it's kind of diminished because it's gone from BBC One to CBeebies or whatever channel it's on now, and it's now once a week. When we did it, it was 3 times a week, and it was like 6 million viewers watching it, and I'm sure, you know, you've had success of your own in the West End and done the stuff. Certain parts or jobs you really, really want because you know you'll enjoy it, and that was a show that I desperately really wanted to do, so I enjoyed every minute of it while I was there.
Yeah. How long were you in it?
I did it for 3 years. People think it's longer than that because when I left, I stayed at the BBC and did the closed show and Dangerfield back as an actor for a couple of seasons, and then I did Fully Booked, which is basically going live on Saturday morning. So
Yeah.
I was still at the BBC for at least another 2-3 years after that.
Right, okay. So you were doing a bit of an Ant and Deck.
Yeah, exactly.
You couldn't
Exactly.
get
So
shot,
it was over and about, you know. So sometimes you'd pop back on the show because there would be something that was going on or whatever. And this coming year is 60 years of Blue Peter. Hence, Strictly and Children in Need special with all Blue Peter presenters because it's kind of kicking off the year of celebrations of Blue Peter.
Oh, right, okay. So is this year's the 60th or 2018?
It starts now, depending on how you view it. So it'll be for the next year coming,
Right.
coming up now.
Okay. So how is Strictly going?
Well, it's, I don't know if you remember when we acted together. I'm not a dancer. I don't pretend to be a dancer. And it's one of those things. It'd be quite a steep learning curve, whatever I managed to learn. But the professional that I'm with is an Australian called Diane Buswell, who, if anybody watches Strictly, she was paired with Reverend Richard Coles, who wasn't a particularly brilliant dancer either.
Right.
And I think she's given the tough nuts because she used to do Strictly in Australia for a few years and would always be given the soccer players or people that weren't necessarily from a dancing background.
Yeah.
And on the first day, you're nervous going into the rehearsals, thinking, right, what's going to happen. But as much as the show's a big show, actually, it's just you and her, or whoever you are with your pro, learning a routine that she's got in her head. So it's just the two of you doing a lot of graft. But when I first went in, she was like, "Hi, mate. Just to let you know, I didn't know who you are because I'm Australian, so I Googled you, and you look tall and athletic, so I put quite a bit into the dance routine."
Cheers.
And I was like, stop you there. Tall, athletic, not so much, no dancing skill. So she very diligently worked with me to do as best as I can. But, some of the presenters that are in it are very, some of the Blue Peter presenters come from an acting background, as in, they've done West End shows and bits and pieces, so they can pick things up really quickly, whereas I'm still trying to think, which is my left.
Yeah. Who else is doing it?
You've got Mark Curry,
Right.
who is brilliant. In fact, he's just come out of Wicked, playing the Wizard for a year and a half. And he's a lovely guy. He's the kind of presenter that I used to watch when I was a kid, and he's really good fun.
Yeah.
But Anthea Turner, that I did Blue Peter with, she's very hardworking. And Diane Louise Jordan, who also I did the show with, and she's an old mate of mine, so she was very much like, oh my God, what have we let ourselves in for?
Yeah.
And then Connie Hook, and then the current presenter, Ratzi, and then there's a special appearance, but doesn't dance, of one of the older Blue Peter presenters who's like anybody from our age and above would know, and he comes out and does something, but not dancing. So it's quite a homage to Blue Peter.
Right, cool. It looks really hard. Is it as hard as it looks?
Well, it is, yeah. I make it look even harder. My friends kept saying, because initially when I was offered it, it was through an email from my agent, and I just thought I was doing something else. And I've actually done something with some Blue Peter presenters a few years ago called Let's Dance, which is a similar thing. And at that time, it was all the Blue Peter presenters. You turned up for a couple of half days and they just give you some routines, but you do it together. And I thought that was the same thing. And my friends were going, "It isn't. I've seen this before. The special is you doing on your own." I said, "It isn't. It's all the Blue Peter." Anyway, as it turned out, yes, it was on my own. So it's one of those things that I kind of didn't regret agreeing to it, but I agreed to it on false pretenses.
Yeah.
But
okay.
It is hard. Everybody said, "Oh, you should really be hoping to have something that's like a ballroom slow or a waltz where you can learn something and you're not going twice." Anyway, without giving anything away, it's a very fast song.
All right.
Once you've learnt your routine, you have to do it twice as fast to keep up with the music.
Well, good luck with it. Don't break any legs or anything.
Yeah, I'll try not to or step on any toes.
It looks like the sort of thing I would hate. And the ice skating show's coming back. I'm a Celebrities are just about round the corner. Would you ever fancy doing I'm a Celebrity or anything like that?
It's one of those things that if you were asked to do it, then obviously you'd be excited and would say yes. But would you enjoy it is another thing, because it's obviously pushing people to the extreme.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of used to doing things like that on Blue Peter, you know, the survival courses, but that's usually with the British Army for 2 or 3 days, and then you go after 2 or 3 days, you're back in London in your apartment, you know, thawing out, whereas that's something that's extended for, I don't know how many weeks, is it 2-3 weeks?
Yeah.
So, yes, but I wouldn't rush to do it.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll put you down for a yes.
Yeah, okay. Small yeah.
Well, it's lovely to speak to you, mate. I'm thrilled you come on the show. It's fantastic to talk to you.
My pleasure, and I hope everything's going well with you as well. It's got to be like, I don't know, 30 years since we
literally
shared a stage.
Yeah, 1988, I believe.
Oh my goodness me! Is that how long ago it was? No, it's before then, wasn't it?
1988. I actually looked it up when I was.
Oh really? Oh my goodness. I'll certainly start lying on my CV how old I am then.
Well, do you remember Janet, my wife?
Yes, your wife.
Yeah.
Your better half.
Yeah, you say it. Yeah. Yeah.
And are you still doing stuff in the West End?
No, I haven't done anything for a while, to be honest, because, you came to see Blood Brothers, didn't you?
Yeah, I've been to see it a couple of times, actually, over the years, because it was such a stalwart of the West End, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it was horrible, because somebody came backstage, a front of house manager, and he said, "Oh, Tim Vincent was in last night. He says hi." He was
the one doing the slow hand clap at the end.
Oh, you are joking. Was I on it? Was I on?
I think you must have been, actually. I think who was... I remember seeing it with one of the Spice Girls is in one of the leads.
Yeah, I didn't do it with her. I did it with...
I think that was your rider, wasn't it?
Yeah. We had the young Baby Spice in one night.
Yeah.
Which was, I was fine until I knew. Halfway through the second half, someone went, "Ooh, guess who's in?"
Well, that's always the way, isn't it? You know, sometimes you could do 1,000 performances, but if you know somebody's in, you start thinking you're performing for them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You feel like it's your mum.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, is there any plans to do any more pantomimes in Wrexham before you go?
No, not at the moment. It's just a busy time. Currently, I'm off to New York now until beginning of December, which obviously most pantomimes you start rehearsals almost, tail end of November, beginning of December. Yeah. And I'm just around and about doing other stuff and filming. So my day job is still NBC, so this weekend we're doing the MTV Music Awards and there's various things going on, so it's a bit hard to pin yourself down, really. And once you pin yourself down to one thing, like a pantomime, which is, doing West End, it's all-consuming. You can't go off and film anything else. So at the moment, I'm quite happy being a Swiss Army knife of presenters, doing bits and pieces.
Perfect.
Never say never.
Absolutely. Never, ever say never.
Exactly.
I hope to bump into you very soon, my friend. Take it easy on yourself.
You too. Good to catch up finally.
Yeah.
If I'm in Wrexham in the Nag's Head or somewhere, come and say hello.
Absolutely, yeah. Let me know if you're in town.
Yeah, all right then, I will do.
All right, buddy, take it easy.
All right, cheers, Andy.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Ta-ra. So there you go, Mr. Tim Vincent, who is going to be performing on the Strictly Come Dancing Children in Need special Friday, November the 15th on the BBC. So, Children in Need, this Friday, the 15th of November, all kicks off on the BBC at 7 o'clock on The One Show. If you want to get yourself a fundraising kit, or you can already start donating, go to www.bbcchildreninneed.co.uk.
Calon FM.
This hit that ice cold Michelle.